We began with the core economics of managerial choice, then added international institutions, currencies, platforms, and regulation. Today, we focus on strategic resilience under global uncertainty. The objective is not to predict every disruption, it is to design decisions and organizations that remain economically viable across several plausible futures. We will use real options, scenario economics, supply chain design, ecosystem strategy, decision rights, and AI enabled sensing. International examples will connect the frameworks to trade, technology, logistics, services, and multinational operations. Resilience is often confused with redundancy or crisis management. Economically, it is the ability to preserve value while adapting. An organization absorbs a shock by maintaining critical operations. It adapts by reallocating resources and changing processes. It learns by updating beliefs from new evidence. It transforms when the previous business model is no longer viable. Efficiency and resilience are not opposites, but they optimize different objective functions. Efficiency is powerful when the environment is stable and probabilities are estimable. Resilience becomes valuable when shocks are correlated, recovery is slow, and probabilities are disputed. The managerial problem is to buy enough flexibility without turning every uncertainty into expensive duplication. The first task is diagnosis. Under risk, managers can estimate outcomes and probabilities from relevant data. Under ambiguity, people agree on possible outcomes but disagree about probabilities. Under deep uncertainty, the outcomes, mechanisms, or rules may change. This distinction determines the method. Expected value optimization is suitable for measurable risks. Robust decision making and real options are more appropriate when probabilities are unreliable. Consider an international logistics company. Fuel price volatility can be modeled using distributions and hedges. A sudden export control regime may change routes, permitted customers, technology access, and enforcement behavior. That is a change in the model itself. AI can estimate patterns from history, but it is least reliable when the underlying regime shifts. Managers should explicitly label which assumptions are statistical and which are structural judgments. Scenarios are structured decision laboratories. They are not for forecasts with invented precision. A useful set spans the uncertainties that most affect the decision. Here, the base scenario assumes continued trade and slower growth. The fragmented scenario adds blocks, export controls, and duplicated standards. The AI boom scenario features strong investment and digitally delivered services. The compound shock scenario combines energy, logistics, and financial stress. For each scenario, calculate contribution, cash requirements, bottlenecks, and strategic options. Then identify robust actions that work reasonably well across futures, contingent actions that activate only when signposts appear, and irreversible bets requiring stronger evidence. Signposts might include tariff classifications, shipping times, data localization, supplier lead times, or customer churn. The value of scenario work is improved and faster when updating, not theatrical storytelling. Geopolitical analysis becomes managerial economics only when headlines are translated into business mechanisms. Revenue exposure includes market access, sanctions, customer confidence, and public procurement. Input exposure includes energy, components, talent, software, and cross border data. Capital exposure includes financing cost, insurance, currency convertibility, and investor restrictions. Control exposure includes ownership rules, technical standards, licensing, and access to critical technology. A semiconductor dependent manufacturer should not merely color countries red or green. It should map which controls affect design tools, fabrication equipment, product specifications, maintenance, end customers, and substitution time. This mechanism map identifies where value is and which managerial action can reduce the exposure. Resilient spending should be managed as a portfolio. Buffers, such as inventory, liquidity, and spare capacity, absorb temporary shocks, but they depreciate or tie up capital. Options, such as qualified second sources, modular contracts, and alternative routes, preserve choice without requiring full duplication. Visibility investments improve detection and response, although visibility without authority can produce dashboards rather than action. Redesign changes the underlying exposure by simplifying products, standardizing components, or regionalizing operations. Managers should rank exposures by impact, recovery time, substitutability, and correlation. The highest priority is not always the most likely event. A low frequency bottleneck with no substitute and a 1 year recovery time can dominate a frequent but manageable disruption. Supply chains should be analyzed as networks rather than lists of suppliers. Concentration measures dependence on a node. Centrality identifies nodes whose failure interrupts many paths. Substitution captures both technical qualification and commercial switching time. Coordination determines whether information can become action. Apparent diversification may be false. Two suppliers can depend on the same port, cloud region, sub-tier producer, specialized machine, or raw material. AI can extract supplier relationships and detect anomalies, but firms still need contractual access to data and people who understand the physical process. The economic target is not maximum diversification. It is sufficient optionality at the nodes where disruption produces the greatest lost contribution and the slowest recovery. Prices coordinate scarcity, but shock pricing has strategic and institutional consequences. Higher prices can ration capacity and reveal urgency. Yet customers remember how a supplier behaved during disruption. Regulators may restrict emergency pricing or collusive conduct. An international freight carrier might use a transparent fuel or congestion surcharge with published triggers rather than opaque algorithmic spikes. It may reserve capacity for critical or long term customers, balancing current margin against relationship value. AI can forecast willingness to pay and allocate capacity, but the objective function should include retention, fairness, contractual commitments, and regulatory risks. The correct price is not simply the short run revenue maximum. AI enabled resilience should be designed as a closed loop, sense changes in news, customs records, supplier performance, customer demand, and operational data. Interpret the mechanism, scenario, and confidence rather than merely summarizing documents. Decide through named owners, thresholds, and pre approved actions. Learn by comparing the warning, decision, and outcome. Many firms invest heavily in sensing but have no authority or option to act. A model may correctly predict a port delay, yet the organization lacks an alternative route or procurement approval. The value of AI is therefore complementary to contracts, decision rights, and operational options. Human review is especially important for geopolitical signals because sources may be strategic, incomplete, or manipulated. The WTO reports that AI enabling goods increased from roughly 13% of world trade in 2023 to nearly 17% by the end of 2025. Asia accounted for about 62% of AI enabling trade in 2025. These figures illustrate a paradox. AI uh, can lower language, compliance, search, and coordination costs, expanding trade opportunities. At the same time, AI systems depend on concentrated layers of compute, chips, cloud infrastructure, models, energy, and technical standards. A firm can become operationally more flexible while becoming technologically more concentrated. Managers should map AI dependencies just as they map physical supply chains. Provider concentration, region, data portability, model substitutability, energy exposure, and exit time. Multi-model access is not genuine diversification when all providers depend on the same infrastructure or regulatory pathway. Under distributed uncertainty, no single firm possesses all required information or assets. Ecosystems can outperform ownership when partners contribute local legitimacy, technology, logistics, or public infrastructure. A multinational food company may combine global demand analytics with local distributors, cold chain operators, and public safety protocols. The economic challenge is governance. Partners may have different incentives, time horizons, and information. Contracts should define data rights, service thresholds, crisis authority, cost sharing, and exit. The lead firm must decide what to control, what to standardize, and what to leave local. Ecosystem resilience is strongest when roles are clear before a disruption rather than negotiated during one. Resilience is an organizational design problem. It is a trigger specifies the observable condition that activates action. The owner has authority to commit resources. The boundary defines what requires escalation because the action is irreversible, legally sensitive, or system wide. The review ensures that emergency authority expires or is renewed deliberately. Organizations often centralize all decisions during uncertainty, creating delay and information loss. The better principle is to centralize standards, capital limits, and systematic risks while decentralizing context rich reversible actions. For example, a country manager may switch a logistics route within a budget, while existing a national market requires executive approval. AI recommendations should enter the same decision rights architecture and never become an unknown uh, automated escalation. A strategic war game is a controlled experiment on the organization. Specify a plausible shock, such as 30-day restriction in a cloud region affecting operations in Southeast Asia, Europe, and Latin America. Force teams to make real choices using current contracts, data authority, and budgets. Observe friction, delayed escalation, conflicting objectives, inaccessible backups, unclear customer communication, or incompatible local rules. Then redesign the system. The output is not a dramatic presentation. It is a list of corrected contracts, thresholds, roles, data access, and response options. Repeat the exercise after changes to measure improvement. AI can generate scenario variations and injects, but facilitators should prevent the model from making the exercise unrealistically coherent. The executive playbook has five elements: protect critical cash flows and obligations so the organizations can continue to choose, preserve options at irreversible decision points rather than committing too early, pre authorize when signposts appear, reducing delay, audit concentration across both physical supply chains and AI systems. Finally, convert every disruptions into learning by comparing assumptions, signals, decisions, and outcomes. Resilience is not a permanent emergency posture. It is disciplined management of commitments, options, and learning. The goal is not to predict one future perfectly. It is to build an organization that makes better decisions across several futures while preserving the ability to transform. These references combine current official global economic and trade evidence with foundational work on uncertainty, real options, organizational economics, and resilience. For doctoral research, distinguish studies that measure short run disruption from those that explain long run adaptation. Also, distinguish firm level resilience from national economic security. The two can overlap, of course, but they do not always imply the same policy or managerial decision. Thank you, and that's it for today. See you in the next.